The NBA trade that we all knew was going to happen eventually, but still kind of hurts deep down inside. A 13-year tenure, a guy who seemed to be a one-teamer, a one-franchise guy, a guy that seemed to bring a team back from the ashes, a two-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, an NBA champion, and Finals MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo's time in Milwaukee is over. Just like that. 13 long years. 13 years of trials and tribulations. 13 years of not knowing whether or not the Milwaukee Bucks were going to compete for a championship. And 1 year, they won the whole thing. Won the Larry O'Brien. The last couple years, throughout all the injuries, we all knew that Giannis' time in Milwaukee was coming up. And as of last night, June 22nd of 2026, it finally ended. Milwaukee Saga, the chapter of Giannis' life, is finally closed. But now, I think it's time for our own sakes and our own closure to kind of go back in time and relive the Giannis Antetokounmpo era in Milwaukee. It all starts in 2013. June of 2013. The Milwaukee Bucks are a franchise stuck in basketball purgatory. But this year, they took a flyer. They took a risk on a project player with the 15th overall pick in the 2013 NBA draft. Some guy out of Greece. He was so anonymous, reporters couldn't pronounce his name. And that man was Giannis Antetokounmpo. In his first season under Larry Drew, Giannis was a raw, chaotic project. He only put up 6.8 points per game. But behind the scenes, there was two things about Giannis that gave you a little bit of hope. First, when he first arrived in the US, he was 6'9", and within 2 years, he grew to 6'11". And on top of that, Milwaukee's medical staff discovered Giannis' Achilles tendon was very abnormal, but in a good way. Achilles tendon was listed at 13.5 inches long, nearly double the length of an average human adult. Just off of that, he was a biological cheat code, which allowed him to be the athlete we know of Giannis today. Secondly, enter head coach Jason Kidd. While Jason Kidd's tenure in Milwaukee would eventually go really toxic, knowing Jason Kidd in every stop he had in his career, he looked at the 6'11" with a 7'3" wingspan Greek freak in Giannis and said, "You know what? I don't want you running my 4. I don't want you running my 5. You're running my 1. You're playing point guard for me too, You're playing point guard for me, buddy. Get ready to learn how to pass that ball." The point guard experiment for Giannis was really messy at first, but it forced a future dominant big man to learn elite guard mechanics, learn how to manipulate passing lanes, read weak side help, and handle the ball under pressure. He wasn't just a rim runner anymore. He was a freight train, but he kind of knew how to be an organized freight train somewhat at this point, still exposed to the Giannis we know today. And by 2016, this was, oh shit, he's actually nice. The 2016-2017 season was the official breakout year, where Giannis won the most improved player, going from 16.9 points per game to 22.9, going from 7.7 rebounds to 8.8. He won the most improved player this year, and that's when it was officially stamped, Giannis Antetokounmpo has arrived on the scene. But team success in the playoff required taking some serious lumps. In 2017 against the 3-seeded Toronto Raptors, a young Bucks squad shocked everyone by stealing Game 1 on the road, behind Giannis' 28 points. He averaged 24.8 points per game and 9.5 rebounds in this series. Toronto's veteran experience quickly adjusted. They used DeMar DeRozan, Serge Ibaka to aggressively crowd driving lanes because the Bucks lacked perimeter spacing. The offense sputtered, and the Milwaukee Bucks lost the series in 6 games. And the next year, 2018, bought a legendary 7-game series against Boston Celtics. Giannis was hooping out of his mind, averaging 25.7 points per game, 9.6 rebounds, and shooting 57% from the field. But Game 1 and Game 7 losses on the road exposed a fatal flaw. When Al Horford walled off in the paint, Milwaukee didn't have a second shot creator to alleviate the pressure. In the summer of 2018, the hiring of Mike Budenholzer sparked a revolution. Before Budenholzer, the Bucks spacing was unwatchable. Budenholzer implemented a strict 4-out 1-in spacing system, turning center Brook Lopez into a 30-foot floor spacer and surrounding Giannis with shooters. The strategy was simple. You clear out the paint, you run a 4-out 1-in, and give Giannis the entire paint. So hey Giannis, bully. The league had absolutely no answer, and in 2019, Giannis led the Bucks to 60 wins and captured his first MVP. In 2020, his regular season production went up drastically to a point where it was a historic season, averaging 29.5 points per game, 13.6 rebounds per game, and just 30.4 minutes per game. He swept both the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year awards in 2020, joining only Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon as the only player to ever do that in the same season. The Bucks looked invincible. They looked like that they're the clear favorites to make it out the Eastern Conference. For all of Giannis' regular season dominance, the postseason uncovered a massive mechanical flaw. Giannis can't fucking shoot. In the 2019 Conference Finals, after the Bucks won the first 2 games at home, taking a 2-0 series lead against the eventual champions, the Toronto Raptors, Nick Nurse unleashed a defensive masterpiece. He assigned Kawhi Leonard as a primary on-ball defender, but backed him up with Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Pascal Siakam. Basically, it was, Giannis, you're not only going to have to be one man. You're going to have to get through the entire team to get to the basket, and we're going to dare others to shoot. The Raptors did that for 4 straight games, and they won 4 straight. And that was the first domino to fall in this Milwaukee Bucks era, where you start to realize, oh wait, Giannis needs a lot more than just shooting. He needs actual shooters, not people who can shoot the ball. 2 completely different things. That wall strategy opened up a lot for other teams around the league, which implemented it in their own ways. Every time Giannis drove, 3 defenders collapsed, his passing lanes were choked out, and in the 2020 bubble, Eric Spoelstra and Miami Heat perfected that same game plan. Bam Adebayo acted as the hyper-athletic mobile anchor of the wall, while Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder cut out all the passing lanes. Unlike how having Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, which kind of crowd Giannis' drive, Jay Crowder and Jimmy Butler completely negated all the passing, and also helped with their hands strip the ball from Giannis and make it very, very difficult. The national media turned on him instantly. The media turned on him, fans turned on him, everyone automatically said, this guy is just run and dunk man. He can't win. He can't win in a half-court setting. He is just a regular season player. This triggered the great loyalty crisis of 2020. Giannis entered his final year of his contract. Major markets were lining up to sign him, because then again, this is a generational talent, and with the right roster construction, can bring out the best of Giannis. But Giannis rejected it. He signed a 5-year Supermax contract with Milwaukee Bucks. General Manager John Horst backed up the loyalty by pushing all remaining chips into the middle of the table, trading away the entire future draft capital for one of the best defensive players of our generation in Jrue Holiday. It was championship or bust. And what followed the spring of 2021 was basketball being played at its highest. 2021 playoff run is a masterclass for just pure hoops enthusiasts. To talk about this 2021 run, we have to start in the first round. It's a rematch against the Miami Heat, a team that just beat Giannis the year before. Instead of Giannis getting blindly smashed into the Heat's wall, Budenholzer adjusted. He used Giannis as a screener and a short roll playmaker for Middleton and Jrue Holiday. Giannis made it hard, and he helped defenders to play any help defense with his passing, got him triple-double in Game 4, and clinched them and swept the Heat out of the building. Next, one of the greatest series I have watched with my own eyes that wasn't a final series. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets, the 2021 Brooklyn Nets. And for those of you who forgot who are these 2021 Brooklyn Nets, let me remind you. At point guard, you have Kyrie Irving. Shooting guard was James Harden. Small forward was Kevin Durant. The rest of the team does not matter. It could have been me and you out there. Because who cares? This series had everything we expected and more. Except for the fact Kyrie got hurt in Game 2 with an ankle injury. And James Harden's hamstring became pulled pork. In a legendary Game 7 on the road, Giannis played 50 minutes, shot 40 points, 13 rebounds, and even outlasted Kevin Durant's 49-point triple-double. You don't understand how great this series was. You have two of the best players in the world going head-to-head and battling each other, and Kevin Durant was fucking hooping. But it just wasn't enough. With 2 of his best players basically being out, I know Harden did play, but that hamstring was clearly limiting him. Unfortunately, disaster struck in the conference finals against the Atlanta Hawks. Giannis hyperextended his left knee. It looked like it may have been an ACL. Yet just days later, he comes back and checks into Game 1 against the Phoenix Suns. Down 2-0 to Phoenix. The Milwaukee Bucks find themselves with their backs against the wall yet again. The final adjustment in the series. He shifted Giannis to play the 5 position in small ball lineups, allowing the Bucks to switch everything on Chris Paul and Devin Booker while letting Giannis also control the paint. Just having Brook out there, they were just using and abusing him every single time. And then we have one of the most iconic moments in playoff history. We have the block. Then in Game 5, what we have called the Valley Oop. Game 4, late in the 4th quarter, Devin Booker lofts a perfect pass to DeAndre Ayton. Giannis runs out from the perimeter, and just like that, the weak side block on Ayton to steal Game 4. And then in Game 5, Drew Holiday takes the fucking ball from Devin Booker, runs the break, and throws a ridiculous lob to Giannis. And may I just add, I've always wanted to say this, why did Chris Paul push him? Why did Chris Paul even try to contest him? Why not just give him the 2 points? Instead, you give him the A1 and closes out Game 5. Then in Game 6, July 20th, 2021, in the Bucks arena, with a chance to immortalize his legacy, Giannis delivered one of the greatest close-up performances in finals history. 50 points, 14 boards, and 5 blocks. But the most poetic stat of the night, the man who had been mocked across the globe for taking too long at free throws went 17 of 19 from the free throw line. His ultimate weakness was the reason why they won this game. The Bucks won 105-98. 50 years of waiting was over. Giannis finally did it. But in the NBA, staying on top is harder than getting there. And the post-championship era for Milwaukee was literally defined by the worst luck possible when it came to its health. In 2022 against the Boston Celtics, Chris Middleton suffered an MCL strain. Even though Giannis was putting up some legendary performances, averaging 33.9 points per game, 14.7 rebounds, 7.1 assists across 7 games, becoming the first player to ever record 200 points, 100 rebounds, and 50 assists in a single playoff series. But without a secondary scorer, he simply ran out of gas in Game 7. In 2023 against Miami, Giannis suffered a lower back injury in Game 1. He returned for Game 4 and 5, but clearly he was still grimacing from pain from that lower back. And then which helped Jimmy Butler pull off one of the greatest 8-seed upsets, while Giannis was just terrible in Game 5. Desperate to maximize their window, and with all the injuries, the front office decided Giannis needs more scoring. They flipped Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard, and on paper, it was an offensive juggernaut. In reality, the perimeter defense collapsed. The fit was too clunky, and injuries struck again, because in the 2025 playoffs against the Indiana Pacers, Damian Lillard tore his Achilles. And Giannis was sidelined with multiple calf strains throughout the year and in the first round. By the 2025-2026 season, the wheels completely came off. Starting off in the offseason when the Milwaukee Bucks decided to waive Damian Lillard and stretch out his contract for the next couple of years, just so that they can sign Miles Turner. The first domino has fell. And right then and there, the Giannis saga in Milwaukee felt like it was coming to an end. But we had to see what was going on throughout the year. And just like how we expected, behind closed doors, the relationship between Giannis and Milwaukee was starting to crash. Openly, privately, rumors this, rumor that, Giannis wants out, Giannis wants to stay. We didn't know what to do. But we did know that Giannis grew increasingly frustrated with the roster that lacked any young depth or draft capital to rebuild. He knew that it was now time for a rebuild. Knowing he preferred a fresh start and would not sign another long-term extension, terrifying reality. Either A, he loses the greatest icon in the city's history for nothing, or trade him to jumpstart a rebuild. And that brings us to last night. The trigger was finally pulled after a whole year. The Milwaukee Bucks empire, the Milwaukee Bucks tyranny, the Milwaukee Bucks being the playoff picture every single year has officially came to the end, trading Giannis Antetokounmpo to South Beach for a massive haul of chips, a massive haul of picks, and youth. It's a bittersweet, heavy day for the city of Milwaukee, but it isn't an ugly breakup. It's a mutual acceptance. Both the team and the player knew this chapter would come to an end. For 13 years, a small market city in Wisconsin was the undisputed epicenter of the basketball world, because a skinny kid from Athens chose to stay, chose to fight through all the failures, chose to build something permanent from the ground up. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Giannis empire has officially fallen, and a new chapter for Giannis is open alongside Bam Adebayo, Mr. 83 points himself. But what Giannis achieved in that green and cream jersey never be duplicated ever again. Let me know what you guys think of the trade down below, and what you think of Giannis' 13 years in Milwaukee finally coming to an end. And as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe for more, and as always, go hard on them dudes. Salute.